Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be talking about the step up spawn with Grammary Summer Art. Alrighty, so let me go over Summary Grammar Art first before I get to the spawns. Summary Grammar Art is going to be mainly used for player versus enemy, more than player versus player, though she can be used for player versus player for S rank guild battles. A rank and below she's a lot less useful for, but she can be useful for S rank guild battles because she applies 10% life drain on all allies, reduces ability cooldown times to help with that 10% life drain, because if you can use your abilities more quicker, the abilities are what's going to be able to do the attack, and the attack is what's going to be able to tell you how much health you're going to be getting back because of life drain. Life drain is pretty much whatever percent of the attack you have, the damage you have, gets healed also on top of you. And because she's a cost 35 with Awakening, she will have the highest, she will be a really good stat sticker, like one of the best stat stickers out right now, and she will have the highest score during Unison guild battles, or one of the highest scores out of all the monsters in the game right now in Unison guild battles, because of the fact that she's cost 35, the highest cost right now, and has Awakening. So that's what she's mainly going to be used for in S rank guild battles. Also, if you can get her to her second infusion, her ability power will increase by 100, so it'll be 260 both times, 100% on all enemies. So she can do good damage, but it's not gonna be like pretty good. It's not gonna be extremely hard, extremely like phenomenal damage or anything like that. She can do pretty good damage, but it's not gonna be, it's gonna be above average. Let's say it's gonna be above average. And if you get her to a fourth one, she can recover 20 cost on allies, so that way you have 20 cost to actually get your life drain back as well, so that can be very useful as well. Other than that, she's not going to be useful for guild battles. There are a lot more better monsters out there that can be useful for guild battles than her, but her main purpose, her main reason for guild battles, she can be useful for those reasons, but the main one will be score during Unison guild battles. Alright. She is more useful for player versus enemy than any other situation. She is kind of a non-cleric monster because of her healing ability. She has life drain being one of the best healing abilities in the game, because it allows everybody to heal themselves based on their damage, not just on the cleric itself. It's not just boosting the cleric, helping the cleric get more buffs to actually heal us more, any of that stuff. It's actually based on everybody. It's going to be based on how much damage you do. It's going to be based on your attack and all that stuff. Well, not just attack, but all that. So life drain is one of the best healing abilities in the game because it works for everybody. And on top of it, she's going to have reduced ability cooldown times to help with that quicker. And if you awaken her fully, she's going to have 20 costs to help with that as well. And she reduces all the stats of all enemies by 40% on top of that. So it can be useful. This is mainly going to be a boss battle buff right there. The reduced stats of all enemies by 40, because unlike buffs, like all character buffs, like if she were to buff your characters, it'd be more useful, because during waves, if you reduce stats of all the enemies by 40%, that's only going to last for that wave. Well, if you were to buff your own character and you were to buff your allies as well, it's going to go with you throughout all stages. So it's mainly going to be better for use against boss monsters. You can't use it for other monsters. I'm not saying you can't, but that buff's pretty much going to be useless if you use her on useless monsters in the first place. That's why she's a little lesser than all monsters. And then her Dermot, the damage all enemies for all allies for 40% of their current HP, is going to be an Awakening Dermot. Dermot being, it's going to be good. It's a good thing to have, but it's only a good thing to have if you have if people have other monsters that work well with it. You're going to have other monsters that work with this Dermot. If you don't, then it's going to be harmful. For this Dermot, it is Awakening Dermot. Why? Because the only monster that could actually awaken without any help at all, like automatically, no matter what, and during any situation, is Aquarius, because Aquarius also damages all enemies, or not all enemies, but all allies for 40% of their HP. And if you look at Awakening, if you go to the buff itself, all you gotta do is menu, go to help, and I think it's under buffs right here, Awakening right here. It only activates when the player's HP drops 60% or lower. That's why it is useful, because monsters like perhaps Napoleon or perhaps Lady Beatrice, or any monsters that cast all Awakening but don't damage all allies for 40% of their HP. Awakening doesn't activate in the first place if their HP is at 60% or lower. And that's what this monster does. This monster helps make your HP 60% or lower so that way Awakening can activate for it. That's why it is very good. It is Awakening Dermot, and it is good life, and it has life drain to help it out, and reduce ability cooldown times to increase DPS. So overall, it is a good monster, very good monster. There are better monsters, and there are better monsters with better roles, but this is definitely a good Awakening Dermot, a good stat sticker. Definitely a good way to help with gear score and Unison battles. Those are the main purposes of it. Also, it can be good if you don't have a cleric because of life drain and its constant heal effect. Alrighty, with that being said, let's get to the spawn itself. This spawn is going to be recommended for anybody that can do it. It is a 46 gem step up monster spawn. Monster step up spawn. 46 gems for these monsters right here. And not just these monsters, it's going to be pretty much any monster. And yes, they do have DJ Himiko and Elizabeth in here. And they do have the commanders in here as well. And those will have the highest rates overall. Commanders probably around similar, but definitely DJ Himiko and Elizabeth will have higher rates than anything else in here. This is recommended still because overall, when it comes down to it, there's usually treasure spawns and divine grace spawns with this types of stuff, and there's other spawns that you have to do multiple times, step up spawns for medals and all that stuff, pay to win spawns. You gotta get certain medals, you gotta get the monster and all that stuff, and blah blah this and blah blah blah. This is such a better, efficient, and more easier way, and you can even obtain some of the stuff on your first and second try to actually obtain these monsters. You don't have to deal with summoning scrolls. Summoning scrolls have way lower rates, and the worst part about that is you might have to spawn. It's 30 gems per spawn. After your first try, when it comes to treasure and divine grace spawns, it's 30 gems per spawn. By the time you already spawned twice, you well exceeded over what a step up spawn would be, and it guarantees one of these monsters in the first place. So overall, you will have some of the highest chances to get these monsters out of any spawn, in this spawn, than out of any spawn in the game. On top of that, even if you do have, let's say you have these 32 cost monsters right here, if you have most of these monsters, 32 and 33 costs, they have potential count. They still have potential count. So if you haven't unlocked their potential, not all the way, but to the point where they stop giving stats, if you haven't done that, then I would recommend doing it, because this is an easy 12k right here. 6k for slot 1 is 6k for slot 2, 33 cost, and right here 5k for slot 1, 5k for slot 2, or maybe it's the other way around, but you get what I'm saying. It gives you gear score, easy gear score. It's 10k plus the level cap will be increased as well, so you'll be able to get more gear score by leveling up your monster as well. On top of that, this is real easy gear score. If I could do this, I'd probably definitely have at least 10k or 20k more gear score. With a couple hundred gems, I'd at least have 10k more gear score, or probably 20k more gear score if I had a couple gems. Well, unlike a treasure divine grace spawn, if you just get a couple gems, not a couple gems, but a couple hundred gems, like I would use for the step up spawn to get easy 10 or 20k, you just might be able, but might be able is the keyword right there, to actually get the featured monster itself, compared to the step up spawn where you're able to get it maybe multiple times and awaken, and you get more gear score out of it. So even if you do have these monsters, even if you have multiple of them and you already have most of the stuff in here, they can be good for awakening if you haven't awakened them yet, because that will help with gear score, and it will boost your gear score dramatically. And if you use them in Unison, if you use them not in Unison but guild battles as well, they will help boost the score during Unison battles as well, so keep that in mind as well. With that being said, I hope this helped out, and this is the AzureWrath. I will see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.